Hello guys, welcome to our presentation today. We're Group 29 from the BX3061 International Business. Today, we will discuss about globalization's opportunities and challenges for foreign terms in China. For this case, I will choose the topic of business jet makers in China. Let me introduce our group. We Group 29 and the first one is
Hi, I'm Nguyen Bao Duy.
my name is Nguyen Huy Long.
And hello, my name is Nguyễn Hưng Hoàng Anh.
Now we will take a look at the overview of our presentations. The first one will be the background of China, and the second one we will discuss the term globalizations to give you an understanding about that. The third one we will move to the business jet industry, and the following we will use the Porter's diamond theory to point out three main challenges for business jet makers when they enter the China market, and the last one will be our summary. So now we move to Winnie about background of China.
China is one of the biggest economies in the world with the population of 1.4 billion. The economy of China is a socialist market economy that's ranked as the second largest in the world by nominal GDP and the largest in the world by purchasing power parity. China has the world's fastest growing major economy, with growth rates averaging 6% over 30 years. Due to historical and political conditions of China's developing economy, China's public sectors account for a bigger share of the national economy than the burgeoning private sector. China is the world's largest manufacturing economy and exporter of goods. It is the largest trading nation in the world and plays a prominent role in international trade and, and has increasingly entrenched in trade organizations and treaties in recent years. China became a member of World Trade Organization in 2001. China has the highest number of rich people in the world. With the development of globalization change, China and India are two countries that benefited from globalization. Now we will discuss about globalization. Globalization is the spread of products, technology, information, and jobs across national border and culture. In economic terms, it describes an interdependence of nations around the globe fostered through free trade. On the upside, it can raise the standard of living in poor and less developed countries by providing job opportunities, modernizations, and improved access to goods and services. On the downside, it can destroy job opportunities in more developed and high-wage countries as the production of goods move across borders.
Now we will talk about the business jet industry. The global business jet makers size was valued at USD 24 billions, with an estimated 700 jets delivered in 2018. The market for these business jets is highly competitive in nature, with a few players acquiring a significant market share. So it's very popular in developed countries like the USA, the Europe, as almost one of the billionaire and CEO, the owner of big enterprise and company have their own business jet. In China, it's a quite new market for them because there's not many business jets in China compared with the US or the Europe. So business jet makers are trying to enter the China market. As you can see in the graph here, China is where the billionaire population is growing fastest in the world. So it will be a very good market for them. We should watch this video to understand about the China business jet maker.
We have sales offices in Beijing and Hong Kong. We have a service center at Beijing Capital Airport in Beijing. We've stationed lots of people and parts in the region to support our aircraft. But I think that the China market has a lot of room to grow, and we're going to continue to invest in China, and our goal is to maintain our #1 market share position in China.
I saw over the last 10 years an incredible change in the way people are getting used to this activity. 10 years ago it was still a curiosity. Today it's really a part of daily life for people to use a business jet. And it's much easier to operate an aircraft in China today than it was 10 years ago.
Okay, so according to our researches, we see that China, a country with a large territory for airspace and a wealthy economy, is an ideal place for business jets, and there is an open window for development in the industry. In general, the country has many conditions to build the competitive advantages, and thus we will use the Porter's diamond model to explain the situation. The model consists of four contexts. The first context is the factor endowment. The business jet industry is still very new in China, in which there are not many companies in this field. Moreover, China is the second largest economy in the world, with the population of 1.4 billion people, so the human resources is abundant with the cheap cost of salary. China at the same time also owns a huge capital of investments and developed infrastructure such as highway and railway. Therefore, this is a significant advantage for developing the modern jet industry. The second one is the domestic demand condition. In China, the demand for private jets is huge as there are many big enterprises, companies, and rich people from the 1.4 billion market. It is such a wealthy country that there are almost 900,000 of multi-millionaires and billionaires combined. A large number of rich people also have a hobby of owning jet for personal hobbies, and looking for used one is an option for them. Therefore, experts say that in the future of the next 2 decades, demand for private jets could grow up to 1,500 jets in China. The third context is about the relating and supporting industry. With the case of China, almost all private jets are imported, but they can also be produced in the China mainland, as this country is the biggest manufacturer in the world, with many supporting industries like steel and with cheap labor costs. Production of components such as turbofans, turbine blade, engines, and other materials are very common across China, and these industries are also supported by the large number of logistics companies in the region. And the last context is about the company strategy and rivalry. In the domestic market, most of private jet companies are foreign strong companies such as Gulfstream, Cirrus Aircraft, and Cessna, alongside the domestic companies such as Hainan Airlines and Beijing Airlines. These foreign companies are also supported by some of the Chinese authorities, which helps increase the competition even with the domestic giants in the industry.
Now we come to the challenges that private jet makers will meet in China. The first one is about the law and regulations in China. The sky in China is controlled by the military and flight plans must be submitted with a number process. Challenges facing today private jet flyers include undeveloped airport infrastructure. There are fewer than 200 civil airports compared to more than 5,000 in the US. High user fees, maintenance, and operational costs. Secondly, there are many taxes and import tariffs that can make a price of a private jet 5 times higher than those in the USA. The anti-corruption law also limits the development of private jets, as state-owned enterprises cannot use that. The second is competition of different private jet makers. The market in China is new, but there's many different brands from different countries. Besides the big ones like Airbus, Boeing, and Embraer, we have Beech Hawkers, Cessna, and Gulfstream from the US, Dassault Falcon from France, and Learjet from Canada. The third challenge is the cultural challenges when operating in China. Almost business jet makers are come from Western countries where have a huge difference of culture compared to those in China. According to the Hostif dimension model, China have a high power distance and low individualisms, and doing business in China is much more depend on the government and based on relationships. So, in this ever-changing and competitive world, survival of business without suitable market and business environment analysis is difficult. In order to succeed in business, every business should have the self-analysis method, and in this case, Porter's diamond model is one of the best way to analyze the market environment truly. So China is definitely a country that have a comparative advantage for private jet makers, and the companies should consider the challenges and give the appropriate solutions to make the profit. So that's the end of our presentations. Here's our reference. Thank you for listening.